leaders over in League 2. That is, of course, despite dropping points last time around. But what will happen this double match week? We'll take a look at that and much more next. That's right, folks. Back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about match number 18. That's right, over in League 2. And we'll get to it in a second. If you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe button. You want to stop shop for League 2, Bappin Rovers, World Football. We're going to all here under one rooski. It is tight at the top with Walsall in striking distance in second spot with Crewe completing the top three, which of course is the automatic spots. But the race for the playoffs is wide open. We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, if you knew where you've been, hit the old subscribe, smash the like, and of course hit the little bell. Before we jump into it, on a big shout out to the Patreons, you know who you are, and a big shout out to the members. That's right. But what we're going to do now is revisit last time around. Of course, the FA Cup was this past weekend, but now we're bringing it back up to date with everything else going on over in EFL League 2. Alrighty then, folks, let's take a look back at those last round of matches, which, of course, was way back. When was it? Around about November 23rd. That's right, and these were the games. There was a few postponements due to the weather, but not Cheltenham against Tranmere. That did end up, as predicted, 1-0 winners in the end for Cheltenham. Grimsby did lose to Colchester, big win for the Cowleys there. Notts County and Newport ended up with a 0-0 draw. Wimbledon did lose to Walsall, keeping up their race for promotion. Meanwhile, Bradford against Accrington was postponed. We'll have to do that again another time. Carlisle and Doncaster duked out to a 0-0 draw. Chesterfield did beat Barrow 1-0. Harrogate picked up the 3 points at Gillingham with Fleetwood, MK Dons. Salford and Bromley both postponed. Swindon, Morecambe 5-goal thriller going in favour of the visitors. That was Morecambe. And there, bottom of the screen, Port Vale did draw with Crewe, but dropping points in the end with the 1-1 scoreline. The table, though, looks like this as you see it. It is looking quite spicy. Port Vale are running away with it, 34 points at the moment. Walsall with 31 points, and Crewe make up the top three with 30. Is Doncaster, Notts County, MK Dons, and Wimbledon for a spicy race in the playoffs. Going down, it is Morecambe. It is Swindon right now, but it is still quite tight, very tight, in fact. 18th all the way down to 24th, still in that race to avoid the drop. Typically, this is where I'll take a little look at the old prediction league, but we're going to keep going on as we are because it's a double match week and running out of time to get things together. So we'll bring it back up to date. Probably the next time around, I'll have all week to get it all squared up for you. But that's the link if you want to keep on going and do your thing. These, though, are the next round of games. And, of course, coming at you this coming Tuesday, the 3rd of December. We are in the festive period, typically. And traditionally, maybe even if I could take a pause right now, I'll go whack on the Christmas hat. Alrighty then, folks, here we go with, of course, the first of the games that are in the month of December. And it's Wimbledon. It's Newport County. It's coming at you over at Cherry Records Stadium. That's right, Johnny Jackson's Wimbledon sitting in 7th right now, 26 points to the campaign. They're on 42% form for them over the last 6. That's 2 wins over the last 6. Newport County had Nelson Jardem all the way down to 16th, 21 points for the campaign, but winless in the last 6. They played each other 15 times with 5 wins for Wimbledon, just 3 wins for Newport County, 7 draws between two sides. The last time they played, though, at this venue, it was a 2-0 win for Newport County. The Welsh Wonders are actually unbeaten against Wimbledon over the last 5. Picking up a couple of wins and 3 draws, of course. Newport County did draw with Notts County, back-to-back clean sheets. However, it's actually gone 3 games now without a goal for Newport County in all competitions and all venues. Wimbledon did crash out of the FA Cup, losing to Dagenham this past weekend. So now switching solely to the league. Of course, 11-4 on as your Wimbledon, 15-4 is the draw, 15-2 is your away win. That's right. We are going to go with, what are we going to go with? Wimbledon surely on this one. 2-0 winners at home, taking the 3 points and moving the chains. It's Bradford City. It's Barrow. It's coming at you over at where is it? Vale Parade. That's right. Bradford under Graham Alexander sit 10th right now. Just 1 win in the last 6. Against Barrow, also 1 win in the last 6. They are sitting in 13th with 22 points to the name as well. They played each other 8 times since 2023. Wins for Bradford, 4 for Barrow. There's been just 1 draw between the two sides. And the last time they played over at Vale Parade, it was a 2-1 win for Barrow. That's right. In fact, just 1 time in the last 6 of the hosts come out with a victory. That's when Barrow hosted Bradford back on August 2022. Barrow, though, on the back of that loss against Chesterfield. Bradford on the back of that loss to Morecambe. It's actually been back-to-back games without a goal. And if you want to open up a little bit more, just 1 goal scored by Bradford in the last 4 matches. The odds for this one, 21-20 is your Bradford, 13-5 is the away win, 5-2 the draw. Bradford should nick it, though, in my eyes, because Barrow also on a bit of ropey-dopey form. Meanwhile, Cheltenham up against high-flying table toppers Port Vale coming at you over in Cheltenham. They have played 27 times since 2002. 10 wins for Cheltenham, 7 wins for Port Vale. There's been 10 draws between the two sides. Cheltenham, no, just one win in the last 4. They sit 14th with 21 points, of course, under Michael Flynn. Darren Moore, though, unbeaten in the last 3. They sit top, 34 points for the campaign as well. And they're rocking a 58% form. The last time they have played over at this venue, it was last season in League One. 3-2 winners it was Cheltenham, who did the double over Port Vale, and they are, in fact, unbeaten against them over the last 5. Cheltenham, though, losing to Salford most recently. That was in the FA Cup last round. Meanwhile, Port Vale and Crewe, a draw last time around. Of course, Port Vale crashed out to Barnsley in the first round of the Cup. The odds for this one, we're looking at Cheltenham, 21-10 for the victory, 23-10 is the draw, 5-4 is your away win, which is Port Vale, and they're going to win it, in my eyes. 2-0 winners, they take the points, and they move the chains. Strugglers coming at you now, Colchester, Swindon down the tip of the bottom of the table. Colchester and Danny Crowley, they are 18th right now with 18 points to them. They are actually unbeaten in the last 5. That's 2 wins and 3 draws up against Swindon. Ian Holloway, winless in the last 4. They're on 23rd in the table with just 13 points for the campaign. They played each other 37 times since 2003. 17 wins for Colchester, 12 wins for Swindon. There's been 8 draws between the two sides. The last time they played, it was in the round 1 of the FA Cup back in the 2nd of November. It was a 2-1 win for Swindon. That was after extra time. Meanwhile, Swindon, though, on the back of a 4-1 loss after penalties against Accrington Stanley in the Cup, they are out. Colchester only drawing with Fleetwood way back on the 30th of November as well. Meanwhile, the bookies' odds for this one, Colchester at even Stevens, 13-5 is your Swindon, 12-5 the draw. Gonna be tight, gonna go with a draw, point apiece, doesn't do anyone any favours, does it? Meanwhile, Grimsby will take on Accrington Stanley coming to over at Blundell Park. That's down the 3rd of December as well. Grimsby under David Artell, just 1 win in the last 6. They are 9th in the table. Up against Accrington Stanley under John Doolan, they are actually unbeaten in the last 6 matches. 83% form for them. They're climbing up to 19th, 18 points for the campaign. They played each other 15 times since 2006. 4 wins for Grimsby, 8 for Accrington, and there's been 3 draws between the two sides, including the last time they played, which was at Stanley back in February 2024. The last time they played over at Grimsby was a 2-0 win for Stanley, who are unbeaten against Accrington over the last 4. We got 3 wins and just the 1 draw. But they're coming into this on the back of a win over Swindon in the FA Cup. Grimsby losing to Colchester to make it back-to-back games now without a goal. The odds for this one, we're looking at Grimsby 6-5 for the victory, 11-5 is just Stanley, 23-10 is the draw. I might be going with Stanley to get something here. Yes, a 0-0, but it might in fact be a point. But it may actually be a 3 points for Stanley because they look better at the moment in my eyes. Meanwhile, one of the game we're going to have at the MKM or the Stadium MK. That's right, as MK Dons take on Chesterfield in the battle for playoffs. That's right, MK Dons under Scott Lindsay. They sit 6th right now, 27 points to the name. 4 wins in the last 6. They are 67% form up against Paul Cook and this Chesterfield side. They are 8th with 25 points to the name. They've won 3 and lost 3 over the last 6. Played each other 13 times since 2004, 4 wins apiece and 5 draws. The last time they played, it was a draw. It was at Chesterfield. It was back in January 2017 in League One. The last time they played at this venue, it was a 3-2 win for Chesterfield back in November 2016. In fact, the home side hasn't won this game since Milton Keynes beat Chesterfield 6-2 back in August 2011. Chesterfield, though, on the back of that 2-0 loss to Exeter in the Cup, they are out. MK Dons picking up a 3-2 win over Cheltenham back on the 16th of November. That was their last match. The odds here, 27-20. MK Dons, 12-5 the draw, 19-10 your away win. I'm going to go with MK Dons to win it. Goal fest here. 5 goals in it, 3-2 in the end for MK Dons. Meanwhile, Salford City up against Harrogate. That's coming over at Salford City. That's right. Carl Robinson's boys up to 15th in the table, just 1 defeat in the last 6 up against Harrogate. Simon Weaver, 3 wins on the spin. They got 17th in the table with 21 points for the campaign. Played each other 16 times since 2016. 8 wins for Salford, 2 for Harrogate. There's been 6 draws between the two sides, including the last time they played at this venue, 2-2 draw back in April 2024. Salford are through to round 3 of the FA Cup, beating Cheltenham last time around. Harrogate also through, beating Gainsborough 1-0 to join them in the hat. Meanwhile, the odds for this one, 20-13 on is your Salford, 27-10 the draw, 92 is your away win. Gonna go with Salford here, 2-1 winners. I think they're starting to cook under Carl Robinson and will start to climb the bloody table. Tranmere against Morecambe. Coming out of Prenton Park, also on the 3rd of December, Nigel Atkins' boys are in 21st with 17 points to the name. 2 wins at the last 6. Up against Derek Adams and Morecambe, 4 wins at the last 6. They are still rock bottom, but they're starting to get a bit of form of sorts. Played each other 13 times since 2006. 6 wins for Tranmere, 5 for Morecambe, and 2 draws between the two sides. Last time they played at this venue, 3-2 it was for Morecambe. That was back in February 2024 in League 2. Meanwhile, actually Morecambe were unbeaten against Tranmere over the last 4, 3 wins and a draw to boot. Wimbledon did beat Tranmere most recently, 2-0 winners. Back-to-back games now without a goal for Tranmere. Morecambe, though, on the back of successive wins over Swindon and Bradford in the Cup to go into the round round 3 as well. Bookies for this one, we're looking at, what are we looking at? Tranmere 5-4 on for the Mercury 7-2. The Morecambe 27-10 is the draw. I was all over the place on this one, couldn't decide, but I'm going to go with Morecambe to get at least a point. They might get more as well. So 1-1 in the end. Off to the Bescot though we go now. It's Walsall against Notts County. Coming at you on the 3rd of December. Matt Sadler's Walsall sits 2nd. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Notts County and Stuart Maynard 5th without a win though in the last 3 matches. Played each other 16 times since 2006. 6 wins apiece and 4 draws of course. Last time around at the Bescot it was a 3-1 win for Notts County back in April 2024. Notts County though on the back of that 4-3 7-goal bonanza against Peterborough. Losing though to get eliminated of the FA Cup. Also crashing out to Charlton, 4-0 win for them on the road. Big wins that was for the Attics. Walsall though 11-10 on for the victory. 29-10 is Notts County. 25 the draw. Walsall flying high. Notts County trying to compete, but they'll lose this one. 2-0 winners. Walsall keeping the heat at the top of the table. Bromley up against Gillingham. That's moving on into Wednesday, December the 4th. That's right. Bromley under Andy Woodman. 58% form for them right now. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. They got 20th in the table. 17 points for the campaign. Up against Gillingham all the way down to 11th right now. 42% form for them right now. Just 2 wins in the last 6. They have played each other 3 times since 2006. Nothing for Bromley. 3 for Gillingham. There's been 0 draws. 2 of those 3 games they played were friendlies. The last competitive game they played was at Gillingham. It was a 4-1 win for the Gills in the FA Cup way back in November 2006. Bromley, though, on the back of that 2-1 win over Solihull Moors to extend their FA Cup run. Meanwhile, Gillingham losing to Harrogate back on the 23rd of November to continue their slump of late. The odds here, 30-10 is your Bromley, 2-1 is your Gillingham, 23-10 is the draw. I think I'm back in the Gills to get something here. 1-1, point in the bag, and away they go. And then I'm going to wrap it all up with a trip to Fleetwood as they take on Doncaster Rovers. Charlie Adams, Fleetwood enter 12th with 22 points for the campaign. Just 1 win, though, in the last 6 matches. Up against Doncaster and Grant McCann. They are unbeaten in the last 6. They played 14 times since 2014. 7 wins for Fleetwood, 3 for Doncaster. There's been 4 draws between the two sides, including the last time they played at this venue, 0-0 back in March 2022. That was in League 1. Fleetwood, though, are unbeaten against Doncaster over the last 5, 4 wins and just that 1 draw. Speaking of draws, Fleetwood on the back of that draw against Colchester back on the 30th of November. Doncaster squeaking through to round 3 of the FA Cup, defeating Kettering 2-1 after extra time. The odds, though, for this one, 2-1 is your Fleetwood, 30-10 is Doncaster, 23-10 is the draw. Fleetwood, though, losing this. Doncaster taking the 3 points and again keeping the heat as their race for the automatics continues. That completes my picks. Don't forget to get your own picks in as well using that link. And we'll be back, of course, for match day number 19 very, very soon. Of course, subscribe, smash the like. Catch you later, guys and girls. Non-stop shop continues out in League 2. And I'll see you soon. Until then, we're done.